How's it going, guys? It's Nutshell here, and today I want to showcase off one of the best loot runs that you can possibly do for millions of rubles per raid. And essentially what we're doing is a marked run room on customs, and this might seem like a bit of a weird one, that the Dorm's marked room key can make you money. Well, it definitely can, and we've been able to make over 100 million rubles within about 3 keys. And I'll show you the actual results of the run at the end of this video, so you can have a look at exactly how many things that we actually received out of the room. I'm doing a full run here, and essentially we're making our way over to Dorms. Now, the key thing about this run is that you do have a okay weapon. You don't need a whole lot. The only real restriction for this method is that you have a gun. You have decent armor. You know, you can pick it up off of PMCs and run that armor as long as it's level 4 or 5 or 6. And then, of course, making sure that you do have the key for the marked room. They're sitting around 10 to 13 million right now. And of course, on the release of this video, depending on how well it does, maybe they increase in price. I don't know. But just be aware of how much that they're actually costing. Now, when I did this run, basically, we never died. So we did 3 lots of the keys. Each of the marked room keys has a 10 10 opening rate, so you can use them. You want to make sure that when you make your way over to here that you take off the sniper scav that's up on the tower. It's about the only thing that will aggro you up until the point at which we get towards Storms. This isn't a completely safe run, but the good thing about the marked room is that it only really gets used, and your opening only gets used when you actually go inside the room or unlock the key. And because if you're playing PvE, or maybe sometimes you're just wanting to find out how to use it on PvP, and you're wondering whether or not it's actually worth opening, well, that's what this video is all about. You're going to see exactly what we got. And with this opening, essentially what we do is make our way over to 3-story dorms. Usually I'll just path my way over to here, and then I will check to see if the car extract's here. There are some really easy ways to get out. If you've got the car extract, you can just go straight out, which we have. You also have the boat that's nearby as well, the smuggler's boat, which you can use as well. Now, this is the point at which it becomes slightly risky, I guess, is when you actually make your way into the dorm. Now, the first thing that we do is open this door right here, or if we're on the other side, you can open the 3rd floor kind of door, and then what you want to do is just line up here and then do a quick peek, see if you can spot anyone. Making sure you have a decent sight is good, and you can see that there's a body on the floor. It looks like it's a normal scav, which means that there's PMCs inside, or that's what you would think. Now, when I come into the door here, what I do is just part of an additional extra to the loot run. We will essentially open up this key. I'll put the key on screen right now so you can have a look at what it is and what one you require. But I believe that this is Dorm 214, and once you open it, you'll be able to get some of the loot. In terms of the numbering of the doors, you'll be able to see it is essentially the side by the car extract is the higher numbers, and the lower numbers are on the opposite side by the ice cream store. Now, you can hear some PMCs, I believe they are probably bears, that are over here. You want to check just some of these around there. As you see, we take out that guy. Make sure you got a laser on. It makes it a lot easier to actually see where people are. Take some grenades so you can just lob them down the hallway. Check if anyone's in here. And there is. They're probably on essentially the stairway. We just want to check in here, make sure no one's here. You can loot the PMCs or you can not loot the PMCs. It's completely down to you. Usually I won't bother, and I will just take attachments and maybe some of the if you want to do the insurance fraud where you can just drop some of your weapons and armor, I will take the grenades just because they're useful. And then I'll always check the ammo, especially if they've got an kind of a 5.56 or anything like that. When it's pistol ammo, it's usually crap, so I will never take it. But anyway, once we've done here, we want to check the hallway. And usually PMCs will be in this sort of location. When you come around this corner, you want to double check the stairs. Just do a little kind of circular peek round, see if anyone's there. And then as you come up the stairs, they can be on the stairs right there, or they can be right up here. So directly in front of you as you come up. Reshala can spawn here as well, so there is a spawn for Reshala as we come round, just double checking. And then Reshala will usually spawn down there, which is where he will be with all of his goons. Once you've taken out Reshala, if you can, or if you can't, it's completely down to, I guess, your skill or maybe a bit of luck. Then yeah, usually when I come up here, I'll check if anyone's there, then I'll pull out my nade and I will lob it down the corridor. This usually deals with most people, and it's going to be an easy way for you to take out at least a couple of his guards and also potentially take out Reshala. Now, when we come up here, you can see that a grenade looks like it's actually gone off. I believe that the PMCs are down on the first floor, so that's good. Just double checking each of these, and then this way, and then we'll do another check over here and in this room. If you're playing PvP, you want to check behind the door. Little rats will literally sit here waiting for someone to come, and they'll just sit here waiting for you to open the door, and then they'll try and take you out. And then of course they can also sit in this room. You'll sometimes see them up here doing this, waiting for you to come round, so just be aware of that. And they can also sit over here behind this location. They'll just pre-aim the door, waiting for you to come around. Now that we're at dorm 314, this is the marked room key. So just unlock the door, make sure you aim down here. You can turn whilst you're actually opening the door, and that's kind of what we do. And then we close the door here, and that's basically the loot run in terms of what you can get from the actual room. So when you come in here, you want to check the floor. There'll be weapons. Each of these are worth about 50k, upwards of 100k. They all kind of don't have attachments on it. You can find weapons. So you can see we found there. You get yourself some rare loot spawns as well. And the biggest thing from this kind of run is that you can get yourself keycards. One area that people often forget to check is the book right here. The book will spawn keycards underneath the book itself, so you want to check there. The other kind of keycard spot is literally in between here, right there. So where my laser is, there will be a key in there sometimes. So you just want to check for the dot. So far, pretty terrible room opening, but I will showcase what you can get from the room right now, so you can see the kind of contrast as to, you know, what we receive from this raid and what you can receive on kind of the best case scenario. Final one. What we cooking up? Oh, perfect. Ah, oh, there we go. The green and the red in one room. Oh, it's just too easy. Oh. Ah. Thought we got another key. Well. First room. Nothing there. Got ourselves a yellow key card. Oh. And a violet. Oh. Never mind. I swear to God. Oh dear. And a Bitcoin, as if it couldn't get better. Nice little ammo case. This was cracked. Nope. Okay. Ah, finally. Right, any key cards for me? I see one. Ooh. It's the Violet Day, apparently, today. Right. Cool. An 11 SR key, I think. Yeah. God damn it. Yellow's not bad. And we always check over here under the book. Right, so once you've actually managed to make your way out of the marked room, you want to make sure to put all of the stuff that's valuable into your backpack, and dropping out some of the stuff that's less valuable. You can just keep any bits that you want to keep. Of course, weapons, if you do die, you are going to lose them, as they won't be insured, etc. So just be aware of that. But now that we've kind of come down here, we want to check the stairs and just pause for a minute to use the audio, see if there's any PMCs that are going to surprise us. And then double checking over here. There's a PMC down there, but we're not really worried about him. We are just going to move. And then from here, it's just a case of extracting through the car extract. And that is literally the run that you can do. Now, you want to make sure that you are bringing in Roubles into the raid, depending on what your reputation is with fence. And of course, some of the other bits that you can do to reduce your actual cost of the car extracts. You can save yourself a little bit of money, but of course it only costs about 5k. Just bring in enough Roubles for quite a few raids, and usually you'll find Roubles during the run anyway, so it's really not a problem when it comes to that. So that is basically the easiest extract that you can get, is the car extract. It obviously gives you fence rep as well, which is really nice. But on PvP, obviously you've got to make your way to whichever extract you feel like you can do. And often any of the rare valuable stuff you want to put straight in your ass, and essentially that's going to cover at least the cost of the raid for you with the gear that you need to take in. And of course, once you've done that, you are playing pretty much safe. If you get any good, really amazing rare loot, then you're going to be able to extract with it, and that is really what it's all about. Now, obviously, with the price of the keys right now, every single opening is costing you about 1 million to 1.3, depending on how much the key actually costs. Just divide the total cost of the key by 10, and you'll end up with how much you actually required, and how much you actually made from the raid. This raid, we definitely will have lost money in terms of what we received, because we only got a few weapons. We didn't get too many rare spawns. We didn't get any injectors cases. We didn't get any key cases. We didn't get ammo boxes. We didn't get any of the kind of great stuff that you can receive. And of course, we didn't get any of the key cards. And the labs key cards spawn in marked rooms right now. And the whole point of this video, and that is the way in which you're going to make your money in this raids. So let's take a look at our total amount from 30 keys. So I have opened this twice on the 4th set of keys that we have got right now, but I haven't actually kept any of it. The only thing that I do have, we sold from the previous raid. This is of course from this raid, and you can see we've got 2 uses on the marked room key. I have used 3, just to clarify. This is what we received. So from 3 marked keys, this is the loot that we received. These are all of the key cards I got from using the marked room in just 30 openings. We got 5 reds, we got 4 greens, 3 blacks, 7 yellows, 2 violets and 3 blues. We also received ourselves for somewhere in here some of the extra cards, which you can get the 11 SR, you can get 21 WS, and a variety of other things. Some of these we sold, so this isn't the total amount of cards that are these ones, but yeah, we basically got all of this from 30 openings. And then we of course have ourselves some injectors cases. I've saved all of the ones that we got from those 30 openings. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 injector cases, all worth approximately 600k. So we've got a ton of money just in those. So we've got 3.6 mil just from injectors cases. We got 2 dog tag cases, which at the minute aren't particularly that expensive, but 198k per one, so 400k there. We got 2 key tools, which were worth about 570k, and we actually got a couple more that I didn't hold on to, and we just sold them because I thought they're not really that amazing loot. We managed to get 2 LEDXs, which if you're going for the LEDX quest, this is a really good way of getting some in addition to making a ton of money. Each of these LEDXs 800k right now, so 1.6 million just in those. We got ourselves a load of rare loot that we just sold, as in things like eggs and bobbleheads, that sort of stuff, as well as a ton of weapons, and some of them I've kept, things like this spears here. We managed to keep them because we're probably going to use them. Each one of these you can sell the components. I mean, just the scope alone is worth quite a lot. So you can either keep them, use them yourself, or sell some of the scope. So that's 170k just for the scope. You can't actually sell spears on the flea. But what you can do is sell all of the bits on the weapon itself. So you can see here 80k for the suppressor, so you can probably make about 300k from just dismantling the spear's components per one, plus you get the actual thing, which you can then sell to mechanic if you really wanted to. So it depends whether you want to actually do that, but you can see here the sell price disregarding the scope and the suppressor, probably about 100k to 90k, something like that, but we're not going to sell them. We got ourselves quite a few mag cases as well, which or ammo boxes even, that you can pick up. So this one we actually picked up in the raid and we kept hold of it. We're just going to use it. We managed to get a couple of other bits and bobs as well along the way. We picked up 4 bitcoins as well out of the raids that we did. So bitcoins do spawn in the room. They're pretty rare considering we only got 4 of them out of the 30. And we actually picked up 2 bitcoins in one singular raid, which was pretty insane because I'd literally never seen them before, and that was probably 20 raids in and we'd only seen no bitcoins until that room, and then we got 2. Of course then we got some of the extra loot, things like red rebels in the last raid, so the first one of this one, so my 31st raid, we picked up a red rebel which was worth 1.6 million, which was nice, and we just sold that because I didn't want to have it in here as kind of the loot from the 30 marked rooms that we did open. We've also got ourselves another Dorms marked room key right here, just as the additional bit as well. So with that being said, let's check how much we actually made from 3 keys. If we check the price of the Dorms room just to showcase that that's how much they actually are right now. If we go over here, you can see sitting at around 13.8 million. When I was buying them, they were 9.9 and just under 10 million. I bought one for about 10.5 million, but you want to look to see if you can get any of these. If they have a price that's about $1 million per use left, so say if this 6 out of 10 was worth 6 million, I'd probably pick it up. It doesn't really matter about the charges, it just means you're going to have to buy another one. Definitely make sure that you are checking the charges and you're not just buying a 1 charge Dorms room key for 4 million or whatever people are trying to sell them for here. Another way of getting the Dorms room mark key at the beginning before you make all of your money from using it is to actually use the barter trade that you will get from Jaeger, I believe, which gives you the marked room key. This is something that a lot of people will use in terms of making money overall. These are all of the reserved to marked room keys, which are significantly cheaper than the Dorms marked room key. But the whole thing is that you can hand in 1 out of 10s on each one of these. So you can have 1 use on each of these keys. So you can use them 9 times essentially. And then you can transfer them into a Dorms marked room key, which will save you the money of actually having these. You can see here, if we look at the price of these, they're about 5 mil. And of course, they also have the chance of key cards and stuff like that. So they're going to be useful. That one is 3 mil. So that's 8 mil for the key plus 6 mil. So you're sitting at about 14 million to pick up all 3 of these ones. You can then use all of them. And essentially, it's going to cost you 1.4 million to actually pick up a Dorms marked room key, which if you use all of these, that's pretty amazing. So it would be 14 million divided by 10 will give you a 1 use, so 1 use on each of these, that's how much it's going to cost you. So 1.4 million to pick up a dorm's marked room key. Obviously you have to use all of these keys in order to make it worth it. You don't want to be handing in 10 out of 10 of these keys, so yeah, just make sure that you try out reserve and try and use all of the marked rooms to make a really nice amount of money from each of these, alongside actually getting yourself the dorm's marked room key. So that's something we're going to be doing, and I did actually go ahead and buy all of the marked room keys for reserve that we'll be doing a video on shortly. But let's have a look at how much we actually made, because you might be thinking, okay, so you made probably quite a lot. You had a load of these key cards, but how much do they actually sell for? Well, the best place to actually sell your key cards is not actually on the market. You can see here they are sitting at 10.39 million. So if we have a look, when we sell to Therapist, if we open it up, they're 10.395. Now remember that when you try and sell an item like one of these key cards, you're going to get whacked by a ton of tax. So if we have a look and put that one up and we list it for say 10.3 million, you're going to pay 584,000, which means not only do you have to have the flea unlocked, which this method doesn't require you to do, but you're also going to lose about 300k by selling it. 3 to 400, maybe even 500k, depending on the price of the key cards, just by selling it to on the flea. So pretty much don't do that, just sell it to Therapist, which is what we're going to do right now. Now I have already got a full set of Labs key cards, but if I didn't, I would now have one. So we can just sell all of these for profit, and you'll see exactly how much we made. And there you go, 139 million. If we were to add in all the LEDXs, just selling them at like the base value, this is how much we actually would have made. So 147 million from the key cards that we used. And remember that we paid about 10 million rubles per key. So if we deduct 30 million away from this price, I made 117 million rubles from just the rare stuff that you get from the room, let alone all of the weapons and stuff that I sold for a couple hundred times each raid. So we probably would have made in the region about 160 million in total. And yeah, I mean 160 million, take away the 30 for the keys, 130 million from 30 raids puts our method at about in the region of 4.3 million every single raid that we did during these runs. And it took me about 5-6 hours to do all of the raids, maybe slightly longer, maybe 8 hours, considering how long the load times are. But if when the actual mode goes into for PvE, that is when they start introducing solo servers where you can load in pretty instantly on local servers, then you will be able to do it much quicker, and you can make even more money per hour. You're kind of limited by how long it takes to get into raids. Doing this late at night is going to be easier because you'll get into raids faster because less people are online, and that's how I did it. We probably did about 4 raids every hour, so you can hope to do that. Depends on where the extracts are, because you might have to run really far on customs to get to an extract, dependent on where you spawn, because the extracts could be either you go to the car, which can be there, or the smuggler's boat, which is the second best option as an extract and is available dependent on where you spawn. If you spawn near red, you will not be able to use the smuggler's boat, so you have to rely on the car being there. And if the car isn't there, you're going to have to go to like ZB14 or somewhere like that. Because you won't have RUAF, you won't have smuggler's boat, and the car isn't there. So it's a long run, but it's a very safe run. All you do is take the long way round, and you're going to be safe every single day of the week. But if you want to be a bit more riskier, you can go through the center of customs. Customs is a pretty bog standard map that is very easy to actually understand how to maneuver yourself around. But yeah, I mean, it is the best money making method that I ever did, and I was not expecting it. I was maybe thinking we'd get a couple of keys every single one, but we made a ton, and we actually picked up multiple key cards. We got a red and a green in the same room, 20 million from just one opening, and then throughout every single one of them, you're at least guaranteed, from what I actually did, to get at least a green or a red every single run, at least every single key, and probably you're going to end up with about 2 of them every single key. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. We picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 24 key cards. So basically a key almost every single raid that we did. Yeah, it was crazy. And we did actually get a yellow key card as well that I sold instantly before I realized I should probably just keep all of the loot to show it to you. So there would be an extra yellow key card in here. But with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully you're going to go ahead and try and do this method. It really is super easy. The only really risky part is when you try and go in, you could lose your gear. But other than that, you're going to make money every single raid and not just make a little bit, but make a ton. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and like the video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.